So I wanted to quickly mention the plans to. There's still plans to do something with monetizing the MP3s, although that might change to monetizing the marketplace overall, where people can buy and sell their own goods. Uh, in terms of donations to people, I don't think we should interfere with that, as in taking a slice for, you know, this is going to be a business legitimately once we have the chance for it to be so. And at the moment, it is a service that I'm supplying, and for free now. Actually, the one-time fee for the website is removed because I thought about that. I thought, yeah, I want to monetize it, but let's not try too hard too soon and scare people away. Who wants to join a website? Who wants to be charged just to join a website? Well, no one really. Nobody really, right? Despite all the bells and whistles, my argument was, it's reasonable to pay a one-time fee that was very low. We had $20 and I bought it to $5. And the argument was it's reasonable for that price to have the wind's blowing the door again. Hold on. Need to get that sorted. Got the window open, even though the door's shut, it just wobbles in the frame, and the wind is blowing. So sorry about that. Again, backtracking, the argument was it's reasonable to have a price for all these bells and whistles that you have blogging ability. It's a rudimentary blogging editor, but you can blog. It's not like a professional like other blogging platforms like WordPress. I absolutely despise WordPress, by the way, but just using it as an example. So, blogging ability, private chat room creation, private messages in general, like you would on Facebook or whichever. The ability to file share. Posting MP3s, that creates a player you can play. By the way, we've got SoundCloud embedding as well, and all these things. That SoundCloud embedding I mentioned before. Put a link to your SoundCloud tracks, any particular one, and it automatically shows the player that SoundCloud would have to play on your site. Same with posting a link to YouTube. Immediately within the post, once the post is created, you see a player appear on the page. It doesn't mean there's a video on the server. It means a link to the video that is using YouTube's player to play it off the YouTube server via the page that's in front of you. Kind of mentioned that, unfortunately, because I don't know how detailed you are. To some people, say we got this, we got that, and go and check out Exploratory Minds. They can post videos now. Technically, yes, but we're not hosting the videos. But again, we do hope to change that in any ability for the server to have video hosting in live feed. It isn't really the processing ability of our server, but it is the processing ability of the suppliers of the software that is open source that we change so much that it's ours. That's the whole idea of open source is you change what you like. There's things that we don't change, as like a core backbone. We change some things there, but just in case we needed it, like a core backbone, or the original software suppliers saying plug this in, and it's literally a plug-in component that you install, and it'd be hanging on that backbone sort of structure to run on the system. Now somebody said, well, Discord is open source, you can do this and that. Well, there's a number of problems here. Discord is a company that I don't trust anyway. tell you they record everything, and I don't like Discord. It's horrible, just unintuitive. And yeah, we could perhaps do something with it, perhaps, and plug it in, and you got video conferencing, video calling through the website. However, whatever is edited needs to be hung on that backbone to be compatible. Are their rules compatible? Probably not. You know, rules and regulations to say certain things, and you find that you get censored or a blank bit in your video. We don't want that. We are very strict about eliminating as much third party as possible. You know, in an ideal world, if I had the money, I'd have a super connection, a super internet speed, and running it off my very own server rather than having to buy a monthly fee to a server with A2 hosting, who are brilliant, by the way. So it's not third party, but it's 2 point something, if you will, party. So a number of reasons why we would prefer to use the servers of the original host, original software supplier, so they could host our videos instead of the hosts that we've already got, who would ask for more money. It turns out that they have accumulated enough finance, actually, who, by supplying bits of software and software that plugs into software, running websites, that they have built a server, a video calling server, and trying to get this set up for other people. It's going to be a lot of testing. They were impressed what we did with the software in terms of what we've edited and how we changed the look and feel of certain things, although standard model for the original is still very much there as well. And they, because of that, they said, oh, do you want to be one of the testers for this platform when we got it ready to be tested? Great, absolutely, because we want video calling. We had Google Hangout button, which I don't like. You know, it just goes to Google's Hangout. It's now Google Meets as well. Again, with Google, you say one word and you find out your video's deleted, whichever. One of the things with installing this, is that if we install it if it was our server that we were trying to do this with, instead of the software supplier server, it's capable of a few connections here and there, but if you want, like, let's say 5 or 6 users, the video calling at once, it would just crash the server. There's so many data feeds within video calling. It's something that people do not think about when you just, particularly the average YouTube user, might just upload a video, or do a video conference, or do a Skype call, and not really think about the data that's coming to and fro. You need good internet speed, of course. It's data feeds of your audio has to be in sync with your video. The video data feed is, you got immediate static image. All those pixels need to change in line with the real-time movements of the feed going through the camera, so it's no longer a static image. It needs to be redrawn at a particular speed that human eye can't detect, so it's fluid instead of, you know, get data bottlenecking. You got this jerk frame by frame problem, and audio going out of sync, all kinds of problems. And the person at the other end that you're talking to needs an adequate internet connection as well for them to respond in time for all that to happen all over again, sent the other way. There's a lot of processing for a server to do this. And conflicts of interest can occur from different third parties and terms and conditions. Uh, so for the most part, they're extremely lenient, and there'll be an encrypted connection between the two users to have a video conferencing call, right? So, that's why we want to keep it as self-contained as much as possible, while linking the links everywhere. Not, I don't mean self-contained as in you're never going to know about it unless you go to the actual site itself. We're putting links everywhere, and there's ability now for search engine optimization purposes, I guess, and other practical use purposes, is in your own profile. You can create a app now that goes on your phone, Android phone, to access the network. So there's that has been developed. I'm going to say in development, but there's some other things we might do with that. Certainly 2020 has been very progressive for the development of the website. I'm pleased with it, and I think there's a lot of potential here. However, the biggest giant in front of me is getting people to see the website and use it regularly, getting the traffic to the site and realizing the goals of the site. If they agree to why I'm passionate about using it at all, then they would be using it a lot more as well. That's just going to have to come over time. I am incredibly persistent, so it's just one thing that I've been impatient with. There are people using the site, there are people sharing information, there is people using their own chat rooms, but it's like here and there, a couple of days a week. Some days there'll be nobody logged in, but it is actually being used a bit more as time goes on. If you're interested in and you like my videos out there, particularly the Exploratory Minds Project YouTube channel, think about that. Those subjects that I've put out and I've extracted the most interesting aspect of those subjects, that's where Exploratory Minds goes. That's where the social network is encouraging things here and there. And I've seen an article today about AI, artificial intelligence, being used to create models for metamaterials. Like I said early on, one of the things would be these models that they plug into these supercomputers, that the AI can discern intelligent materials, creation of materials that don't necessarily exist in nature, but they're very unique and practical. Superconductive materials as well, things like this. AI would be a big player in that. This article proves it. They're talking about these carbon materials have very unique properties. So it's something I'll perhaps do a video on. A lot of it's over my head when it gets into the technical data. DARPA are working on that. Certain things with metamaterials and for cloaking. DARPA, the Defence and Research Projects Agency, which clearly for the military, hence the word defence, in America. And again, I think for America's collective sanity, if there's any left, because you're going crazy, understandably so. I hope Trump does not win another 4 years. Really, I really hope, for the sake of the whole country. There's some really intelligent people in America doing their thing, and they have to realise it's those people that equals America's success, always has been, and it's America's visa that is really America's success. Most of the successful people there are foreigners. The same with the National Health Service in the UK. It is mostly flooded with local, like British people, but the best or the best are actually foreigners. Uh, sort of Indian doctors as well. Great. Well, we're glad to have them. I know I'm not against that. I'm very glad to have this multicultural aspect that allows us to have such a beneficial system. Socializing a healthcare system works, I think, despite people complaining about waiting lists and nothing's perfect. But it's a lot better than not having one. And yes, we can go if too much hits the fan and gets too serious with some things. You can go private. There are private companies, but National Health Service is a socialised service that I can do. So we've gone from what we're doing on the website to a political stance on healthcare, I guess. I'm against socialism otherwise, but in some aspects it actually works. But America's not really a democracy. It's something, I don't know what you call it, a republic. I don't know. Is there a social experiment out there that is actually perfect? No. Democracy looks brilliant in theory, perhaps on paper as well. But in practice, it's the same with any political stance. I think is there's your cake. Can you eat it all? No. That's a nice cake yesterday though. Yesterday was my birthday. So this progress with the website being really random, but that's how it is for this channel. More random than it is for Exploring Minds channel, but it's all two sides of the same coin. And we really want to progress this. If we see it looks like by late January, maybe later, we'll have video calling. If we see it and it works efficiently, this is a beautiful round off to the current tools like private chatting, your MP3 sharing, post your podcast, why not? And video calling on top of that, and blogging on top of that. That, to me, spells a lot, equals a lot of potential for a very enjoyable platform, but we, terms and conditions, we very strict about mitigating trolling and abuse, and we look for content that backs itself up. Any bold claims that complaining about somebody else, then you'd have to have context. This is increasingly important. Every single social network out there, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anyone complaining about somebody else, you usually see that the one that's originally being the ass is complaining about something that they took out of context. Even the owners of websites do this with their snowflake, far left, social justice warrior bullshit, and claiming you can't say this, you can't say that. Well, you should be able to within a fair context. You can't use this particular word. Well, language is evolving all the time, so why not? Different words can have different meanings within different contexts. What if you're teaching grammar? Some words you can't teach anymore because a AI system blocks it because some butthurt fool out there doesn't like that word. So that it's all programmed, not even by them, as by like me. It's like I'm a client for SoftLab 24 for the most part. I've done plenty of editing and coding myself, but if I was asked to do something professionally for somebody, I couldn't do it because and what I know is I don't know everything. We need the experts. I'm not an expert. There's nowhere near. I know how to do a bit of PHP, JavaScript. I like PHP because it actually PHP editing, coding, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't let you fuck up much. If you HTML, even HTML5 tends to allow erroneous, unclean sort of way of doing things. This is why I preferred to, it's all written in mostly in PHP anyway. The original software, the open source software you got from Softlab24, and check them out, softlab24.com. Pretty cool. And regardless of all my gripes and moans about how websites are run, peace out. Thank you for watching. Take care. I just thought I would clarify why we would rather use Softlab24 servers for the video calling than any other third party. Anyway, it's keeping it all within the same box rather than risking fragmenting things and end up stepping on some things that are conflicts of interest. Peace out. Take care. Bye bye. And I look forward to doing the next video. Cheers. Bye.